Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny. Fruit markets, apps, Flutter designs inside. You need to see this here, the checkout UI screens you need to develop here. First of all, you need to see these designs inside the XD files. You need to look like this UI you need to develop inside the Flutters. First of all, make to how to create like this UI. First of all, you need to go inside here the screens and find out here the cart folders, and inside you need to create here the new files and to give this here the name checkout underscore screen dot dots, and to create here the stateful widgets and to give this here the name checkout screen. And we need to create imports here the material dependency, create here the scaffold, and you need to develop this here the app bars. We need to write down here the app bars, create here the background colors. We need to set this here the t colors, white text backgrounds we need to set here. Then after set this here the center titles, we need to set this here the false. Now we need to set here the titles, set here the text, and we need to set this here the total bill like here's, and brackets inside we need to write down here this value entry signs dollar, and we need to pass this here the value static. Now we need to give API calling times. We need to set here the dynamic. We need to set this here the styles text styles, set here the color t color primary text, and fonts also need to set this here the font size is 14, and font weight need to set this here the semi bold 600 need to configure for this UI. And we also need to configure this here the leading buttons. We need to develop here the icon button on press event, and to click here the on back events context dot pop extension methods need to call here. If you hear the not see here the second video, please first of all the see here the second video explain in details build context inside how to extend these methods. We need to explain in details. If you not watch, so please first of all watch, and then after need to like this here the methods, otherwise need to get here the errors. Now need to write down here the icons, and we need to call this here the icons dot array back iOS, and we need to set this here the color t colors, and we need to set this here the primary text, and like we need to configure for this here the checkout page. Now we need to click here and to go inside here the cart and pay buttons inside. We need to write here the events. We need to open this here the context dot push extension methods. We need to call this here context, and to write down here the checkout screen need to pass here semicolons, and we need to save here, and now need to placeholders and to show like this here the UI need to similar to show here. Maybe we need this here the font size. We need to increase here the 16. So we need to write here, and similar to UI we need to show here. So now need to create here the body of the screen. So need to develop here for this UI, as well as need to develop this here the navigation buttons. Need to create here the safe area like here, and to create here the padding, and we need to set this here the const edges inset symmetric horizontals. We need to give this here the 20, and verticals need to give this here the 8. Like we need to configurations, we need to need here's, and we need to set this here's like this data. And then after, so we need to create here the childs, and we need to configure this here the round button, and we need to set this here the titles pay now buttons. We need to put here, and on press event to open this here the next screen. So we need to show and to call this here the gateway, and we need to get this here the data. Now I'm not sure so which gateway I need to add this. We need to first of all the try to here the Stripe developer account. We need to find if possible then to integrate, otherwise need to people's integrate. We need to here. Then after we need to write down here, and to show this here the UI need to show like this here the UI payouts need to show here the bottom these buttons. And now need to developing this here the body for this scaffold. We need to create here the scroll view single childs, and we need to set this here the childs, and to make here the columns childs, and we need to set this here the main axis alignment. So we need to set this here the not main axis, cross axis, and we need to write down here the set here the start. Like here, so we need to configurations. We need to create first of all the row, and we need to creating here the childs, and we need to also making here the main axis alignments. We need to set as a start, and cross axis also need to set this here the cross. Need to set here the centers, and then after so need to configure this here the for this UI. We need to making here the icons assets. We need to given this here, and to give this here the width we need to set here the 25, and also need to set here the heights 25, and fit as we need to set here the box fit containers constraint. We need to like here, so we need to set this here. And now we need to find out about these icons. We need to already put inside the assets image folders, and we need to get this here the shop icons. We need to find out inside the list, and we need to paste this here. Now we need to copy here relative path, and we need to set this here. And now we need to give this here the some width space. We need to set this here the size box. We need to call here, and to give this here the width need to set here the 15s. Similar to designs we need to put here. So now need to create here the expand like here, and to create here the columns, and we need to set this here the childs. And now we need to set here the cross axis alignment. So need to set here the start, and need to give this here the first of all the set here the text. Now need to copy this text, and to paste this here, and two times you need to paste, and one time you need to use this here the font size. You need to first one is the set here the font in medium, and you need to give this here the organic shops. You need to which shop to get these fruits, and to set like this here the titles. And we need to two items you need to book here, as well as need to delivery times also need to show here, and to check this here the font to a regulars, and set here the secondary text. Remove here the font weights no needs, this is regular fonts, and show like this here the UI. And then after so need to configure this here the most important, so need to give this here the paddings for symmetric for this UI. Horizontal so need to set this here the 20, and similar to designs we need to show here. Again so need to copy this here the same row, we need to put here for this UI. Need to like here, paste this here, and now we need to change this here the icons. We need to set here the home locations icons. We need to put here, already put here. Now need to copy relative path, and we need to paste this here for this here the icons. Now need to save here and show like this here. Now need to set here the home address titles for this organized stop to replace here, and we need to set here the address type. We need to fix this here. Then after we need to show here the address, and to like yours, and we need to set here the maximum lamps. Need to set this here to 2, and save here, and look like this here the show here. And then after so need to creating here the one more things. You need to give this here the light space sized box. Set here the 15s between here the two rows between the size, to give this here the space like this here the show here. And again so need to set here the space, and after so need to divide dividers we need to draw here. Need to create here the divider, and we need to set this here the colors black 26, and we need to give this here the heights. We need to configure this here the UI. Need to set here the 1, and we need to wrap with here the paddings. We need to configures, and to set this here the symmetric, and verticals we need to give this here the 15s for this UI, and similar to draw here the lines. Then after another things we need to draw here the titles for this UI. Another row we need to creating for after this padding. We need to find out here, and we need to create again. So need to row like here. Need to creating here, set here the main axis elements, and to give this here the space between. And we need to first of all the site here the credit cards and debit cards. Need to set this here the titles font size. We need to set here the 16 semi bold, and save here, and show like this here. Now need to create here the text buttons. Need to for add new cards, and on press event need to set here the text. Again, so need to copy this text and to paste this here. Now need to set this here the text titles. Need to configures and colors. Need to give this here the color green like here, and we need to set this here the 12 semi bold. We need to configure for this UI and show like this here the data of the credit cards. Now we need to creating here the list. We need to develop here for the setting this here the data for UI. We need to set here the list view builders with separators. We need to make here the separators context indexed, and we need to return this here row like here. So we need to copy any like this row. We need to needs here. We need to copy here, and we need to paste this data here, and we need to set this here the semicolons. Now we need to creating here the separators as a, we need to draw here the dividers. We need to copy again here, and we need to paste this here for this UI. Need to give this here the separators context indexed, and we need to return this here the this headers like here. Need to put here, and item counts now need to give this here the one temporary, because we need to only making here the UI. That's why I need to put this here. Now need to set here the cards icons. Need to set here. Need to set here the card icons. Need to find out here the copy relative path, and we need to paste this here for showing here for this UI like here's, and we need to show this here enters this here the numbers. We need to show like here's, and we need to set this here the secondary text colors secondary text 14s, and we need to set this here the 12s, and need to show this here the card number name is chutake. We need to like need to set here the code for any like here. So need to set this here the titles fonts and regulars semi bolds, and we need to set like this here the data for this UI. Need to configure here make mistake. We need to save this here files. Need to set here the physics never scrolls. Need to set here, then after the setting here the configurations are the need for this UI. Need to sync wrap. Need to set here the true and save this here, and we need to click on back. Not working because we need to before save these files. That's why here the making issue. Now again verify all the screens, and we need to find out here the shopping placeholders and show like this here the data for the cards, and we need to also show this here the dividers. Need to put here, then after so we need to creating here the another's after the list. Need to create here the text titles. We need to put here again like here save and pay via cards. We need to like this set here's maximum line here set here one, and we need to create against row, and to list of icons we need to put this here's, need to set here's the row, and we need to set this here the main axis elements. Need to set here the start, and we need to create here the image assets, and we need to set here the ms card. We need to copy here's ms card, copy here the relative path, and we need to give this here the width and heights. Also need to provide this here the width. Need to given this here the 50, and height need to give this here the 30, and show like this here for this cards show here and show like here. Need to increase this here the height space. We need to set here the 15, and also need to give this here height space. We need to set here the 8, and show like this here. For this data we need to 25, and show like here. Again so need to copy, need to paste this here, and like this sets here. Now need to copy a relative path, and we need to paste this here, and then after so need to configure this here the visa cards copy relative path, and we need to paste this here, save here, and show like this here. Sized box width, we need to set here the 15. Copy here, paste this here, and to save and show like this here for this data. Same as now we need to create here the wallet. So we need to configure this here. So we need to copy this here the titles of this text and need to develop this here the go against after this years and to first of all the give this here the height space and to set here the 25 like years and to set here the titles wallet methods and show like this years. And again, so we need to copy this here the this list view. You need to needs here and to show this here the another payments methods UI. Need to put here for this designs like here, and we need to image and we need to set this here the text. Remove this here the columns and also like here this data also clean here. And now need to set here the icons for the PayPal's. We need to find out here the PayPal copy relative path and we need to set here's PayPal's and we need to set this here the titles PayPal and we need to check this here the font in regular and primary text and we need to give this here the counts as a 3. We need to past years for this UI and show like this here the UI and we need to give this here the sized box and we need to pass this here the height. So we need to configure this here for this UI. We need to set this here the 55 and similar to designs maybe increase this here the size of icons. We need to set this here the 40 and show like this here the UI and this wallets and we need to set this here the padding cost edges inset symmetric verticals. We need to give this here the 8 and show like this here the paddings. We need to creating here and this checkouts UI are the done. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.